Okay, so I pulled the rest of the harness out of here. This was fished underneath the condenser, so I just cut that. I can always add that back on. This is just for a water switch. Let's say if you had an ice maker. You don't really need that. Doesn't use it. Whatever. So I'm doing the grounds just so I can fish it out. And I can put it back in its place afterwards. I'm trying to do the least amount of cutting as possible. But I know these main cables gotta be fixed. Ground, I don't care. I can see the ground was chewed on. I'm not particular about that. That can hit ground. This is all ground. Everything is ground. Okay, but problem was that we have hot wires being chewed on, or it completes a circuit. And luckily in this case, this is just an output to the fan. The rest of them go up and into the evaporator area. So I just cut these here. We'll go ahead and fix these. The main cables coming in seem to be decent, but there is a compressor switch here or something here. Relay switch, I don't know. I don't know why it's all twisted around on that. Okay, that's from the wall, ground from the wall, and it ties in together with the ground of the system. That's what that is. Okay. I'll get that screw out so we don't lose it. And be sure to put it back in its place once we're done. It's a second layer of safety, because I don't know if they're used for AC or not, but this is what I'm going to use. Should be no issue. I've used them before, so I'm using them again. I'll go ahead and crimp that. Okay. Pull, we're good. And then we'll go ahead and strip this guy. A little twisty. I'll put this guy on. I gotta take off. This is the line coming in from outside. It gets plugged in, and they're both the same looking. So I might as well connect this back together. There's no damage. Okay. Good. We'll go ahead and just briefly I'm using the marine grade, which has the adhesive keep it in its place, and also make sure it's 100% sealed. And get that on there. And that's in the middle. I can feel where the issue is. Go ahead and shrink that. because I keep moving it, I have no worry about burning it. You know, you don't want to burn the heat shrink. All you want to do is heat it up to where it shrinks, and then you can see the adhesive leaking out, sticking out of here. That's what you want. Now this guy is cool. We can come back to this and just tidy up this guy. Come on, little fella. Now we're on the part that has the metal strip. Trying to also think about the fitment. Do we have any extra wire that we could use? Because I don't know. Well, we have an extension on the fan. You see that? We have an extension on the fan, so we really don't need to be sure that's longer. So this is fine. We'll just do this. And as you see, it's only cut at the very end. So I'm gonna cut that end off because I know it's oxidized. Mice urine is very, very, very corrosive. It will eat through any metal I've ever seen. And then when we're going ahead and putting everything back together, okay, we got to make sure that everything is on this side and then underneath at least this guy, so we're able to fish everything back around. Just be aware of what you're doing. That's all. Let's finish the other guys. Now that I caught that, these guys. Bang, boom. We have two more. Yellow don't really have to, but we're gonna do it anyway. Check that damage along here. I might add another heat shrink here. I don't see metal, but we're just gonna do it anyway as a precaution. And this guy, I don't really care about. Also, I see a little bit of metal here, so we'll go ahead and put some heat shrink on that. So we'll go ahead, strip this back. Get our heat shrink on here. Okay. So we get it on this one guy that we know exposed to bare metal right there. A break right in the middle. Boom. Okay. That's good. And this one little part right here, nothing major. I might as well do it. I'm more concerned with this, as it's always hot though. We'll just go ahead and do them 2 points. Heck with it. We're not completing the connection on the yellow, so. Right in the middle, right here, I can feel it. Tight, tight. Okay, now we'll go ahead and shrink. Do I have extra butane in there to refill this, just in case it feels like it's running low? Let's see, there's a wrong solution. Okay, there's that. Put this over. Put this over closer to the bigger connection here. Just do mosquitoes. Okay, so. Sorry. Better cool down. Alright, I'll have to refill it. There we go. Still pulled everything around. Still not as bad. And eyelets are nice and tight. Okay, that's all I need. Oh boy. This guy, we have the tag facing out. Well, and plus the plug itself is directional. So there's not much going wrong there. Two snaps, because there's a connection in the front and the back of that plug. Okay, so push this around. Behind that guy. Okay. And here's the connector to that fan, so we'll just plug him in. And this continues to go around. I'm not worried about it. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Now that is hot, the blue, only through connection, but through a circuit, it's not hot as in the hot wire coming in. So we're not even going to worry about that guy either. Everything's out of the way. Good, good. And now we just have to plug the relay back in along with its hold down piece. And then we should be good to go. I'll get that. And In fact, I'll leave this guy here for the next person if they want to connect that. So this is the relay thingy. It goes in there. Actually, you know what? Let me take a picture of this. For future reference, phone is... Now we'll plug this in. That's good. It does have like a hold down piece here. I don't know exactly where it hooks into, but we're gonna guess. Can't be any worse than we were. I think it's that circle thing in the bottom. Let me get around that wire here. Okay. And then this just reaches over and into the slot. Boom. Beautiful. That's connected. Alright. Should be ready to go. Plug this thing in. You want to plug it in, Anna? No, we're good. So the fan is running. The fan works. See it spinning. All good to go. All the wiring is fixed. Okay, we're back in the freezer situation here. I'm going to check temperatures. And this guy says about 0 degrees. So it's really frozen. Fahrenheit, we should be about just under 32. And that guy's broken, but we have this guy here. Please don't mind. This is not my fridge. This one says about 30 or about 29. So this is a bit cold too. And I've gone ahead and lowered the temperature here, which I know you can't see. There we go. I lowered the temperature to about midway. I might go a little bit more. So one of the things I want to check and see now, we got to pull the stuff out of the freezer. And put that over here. And we're going to take this panel off. I was here last night because they had called me back to say, yeah, guess what? The refrigerator isn't as cold as we would like it. Because apparently they didn't realize that the thermometer in there was bad. So I'm back now. This thing is disgusting. I mean, I'm skeeved. I don't like rotten food, dirty microwaves, dirty refrigerators. I'm skeeved about food or spoiled food. So this skeeves me. But I have my gloves on and we'll go ahead and work on this. So what I want to also do is bring this temperature down a bit, because that seems a little high as well. I'm going to check and see if this is frozen. Take this panel off. Oh, I forgot. So last night, this whole evaporator area was frozen. I had to take this panel and empty everything, the shelf that goes on here. I had to take that out, and that was frozen in the back. We had to undo that. I used my heat gun to melt everything. So I let it go overnight, and now I'm just doing a final check. I know the heater element works in the back. The only thing I was unsure of was the timer, which is located in the refrigerator area, and the thermostat, which activates the defrost heat element once it gets to a certain point. And I couldn't get that thermostat to close, so we'll check it again today. Well, hopefully I get something, an accurate reading. So this is where we're at. I just wanted to touch base with everybody. So I want to show you guys, I took off the cover here I only put one screw in there because I had to come back and fix the wiring that I cut in order to test the thermostat here. But I don't know if I mentioned this in the English, but I had to go ahead and defrost this entire evaporator here. One of the issues that I had last night when I came back to check, this thing was completely covered in ice, one big block. So I used my heat gun, melted everything down, and also the drain, which is located back here, and then the vent, which is here. Okay, and that goes into the refrigerator. Without that being open, the circulation from the freezer to the refrigerator doesn't exist. The freezer is what gives the refrigerator its cold temperature, okay? So we have to have airflow. Number one, when people pack their freezers too much, there's no airflow, that's a huge cause to not having things up to temperature, especially down in the refrigerator area, or vice versa, okay? So I think this is a fix. I believe the thermostat is working since there isn't much ice buildup. I mean, this is hardly anything. This is actually less than it was yesterday, so I think this is a fix, honestly. I just want to come back, get those wire ties out, these wire nuts, and then we'll use the crimp fittings, heat shrink, and call it a fix. But for anybody interested, there's a connector here, negative, positive, for the heating element. Let me get my light. So you can see positive over here. I had barely enough to reach. But now, when I put the butt connector, that should be sufficient. As you see, they have their own butt connectors that they use. They must be crimped with a heat shrink on top. I think my crimp connections are just as good. So, down below is a heating element. Okay, this guy is a thermostat. All it does is just hooks onto the side here of the rails. Okay, which I'll undo. And I already have the refrigerator unplugged. The main connector to the evaporator fan, which I wasn't crazy about this thing swinging about. Ground touches, but that's okay. Touching ground is not a big deal. So, but I know that this thing was working. The only thing that wasn't working was not having it cold. So, again, I have to reiterate, if this is completely blocked up with ice and the heating element is not able to do its job, or it's the holes, the drain in the back, or this area here, this particularly controls the cold in the refrigerator. So, I guess that's it. We'll go ahead and fix those wires and call it a fix. Alright, so that thing is all healed up, all plugged in. I put that thermostat a little lower so it senses the cold from the evaporator, hopefully a bit better if that's the case. Took pictures in case I got to replace that fella. But I see a bit of ice in the back still, just a little bit. I mean, from it being solid to this, it's not too bad, I'd say. Just gonna verify that's plugged in all the way. Yeah. Okay. And then there's a little hook there for the wires. I put that back. But we should be good to go here. I may just let that melt down the rest of the way. And then let me get this on this piece of tape. This thing is just foul. God, I'm such a germaphobe. And that's that. Right now we are about 50 degrees in here. Contemplating if I should just go ahead and put the case back on, just zip it up. Shouldn't be doing that. Period. But, ew, there's crap on my screwdriver. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry, people. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip this up and go from there. I want to be sure that the timer in the bottom part, which I'll show you, is turning. I'm quite sure I verified that yesterday, but I know when it turns and it activates the heater under below, that does work. The heater turns on like it's supposed to, beautifully. I had my probe plugged in. I'll show you. So we'll go back to the refrigerator. Let me zip this up and we'll go back to the refrigerator area. Okay, so here we go. This is a timer here. This unit right here. We have neutral. You see, we have neutral, always hot in the middle, orange, kind of connected, joined inside the timer, hot. And then brown is for the element, the heating element. That's the hot to the element when this switches on. Let me turn this around. You'll see the timer. I have it marked here. And right now they are aligned to where I had it yesterday. Okay. I don't know how often this thing resets, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this 90 degrees. You can only turn it one way. And I want to see if this moves. I'll give this about an hour. Like I said, if you read the back here, 10 hours and 30-minute timer. Okay. So we'll go ahead and turn that to 90. See if that moves. I don't know if you guys can see that little black mark. The black mark, yes you can. Okay. So we'll test that. And last night I had my lead on the brown hanging out. I had an alligator clip hanging out over here as I turned that, and it did activate the heating element. So inside, as far as continuity to the heating element, that's good. The only thing is I'm unsure of is if this timer is actually moving, or if the thermostat, or just a domino effect, like I was saying, from one thing leading to the next, not doing a complete tear down of the unit. It was stinking, it was, packed, and I was not going to come and work on it in that condition. They waited until the last minute to finally clean it out, and I made sure this thing at least was removed of the putrid food, but you could see that there's just nastiness everywhere. We'll go ahead and do that, and I'll bring you back on once I have a final conclusion to this thing. Okay, so we're back on the refrigerator here. We're going to check temperatures. It's been about an hour or so. And we are just under about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Under 20 degrees. Awesome. And in here, refrigerator. Doing much better at approximately 30. Just about 30 degrees almost, or above. This could be a little bit warmer. You could adjust this a little bit further more. Okay. Let that set. And then I'm going to go ahead and check that timer. Just want to check temperatures before I do anything else. Alright, I just want to pull this down again. And you can see that the timer has been moving. From 90 degrees is now maybe about, I don't know, 140 or so. Not quite 180. So that's awesome. I know that this is moving. So the only thing I'm concerned about is the thermostat. I might just pick one up for the heck of it as a backup, just in case. I don't know. But yeah, we've proven that so far. Timer's working. Like I said, I know that the switch works to activate the heating element, so we're good there. So the only thing is the thermostat, but minor part. I don't mind spending 20 bucks. They can be used in a multitude of applications. So I think we're good to go. I'm gonna call this effects finally. I gotta do my due diligence next time. But like I said, I wasn't going to go ahead and come in here because this thing was disgusting. Since it was here, not functioning, the refrigerator here was just putrid. So I wasn't going to go in here the same day anyway. They had to take their time, clean everything out, and get rid of the foul stuff. So I guess we're good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this back down in its place. It really doesn't matter, but I'll screw it back down anyway. Should be fine either way. It's an old refrigerator. The other problem is that we can't seem to find a new one anyway because of the stupid Rona bull. So like, things are just sold out in stores. So I hope you guys found this helpful, useful, and I'll see you guys on the next one.